It's December 9th, 2014. Welcome to the Radio Random Network. Thank you for hitting the download button. Today I am joined by the most unique individual, I have to say, that I've talked to pretty much since starting doing interviews on air, especially with the actors. Now, we talked about this guy's films and we talked about the shows that he'd been on. The most interesting part of the interview was at the end of the interview, whenever he starts telling his success story. Now, when I sit down to do my guest research, and get some notes and stuff on this guy, there wasn't a whole lot out there about him. I see why now, because he's creating it. He's creating his success story, and I wish him all the best. His name is Mr. Semi Anthony, and I have to tell you, folks, great story. The interview is up and down. I asked all the questions. How did you get started? Where did you come from? We talked a little bit about the struggles. But like I said, at the end, when he starts talking about coming from Ugandan, getting on a plane, going to New York with only $50 in his pocket, from that point to where he is now is very impressive. And I'm going to have him back on soon because that's the story that I wanted to tell. Now, I also want to, big announcement, I guess, or this might be a disappointment to some, and this might come as a surprise, but after today, I love interviewing individuals, very talented individuals especially, but I won't be interviewing actors. The show on Wednesdays, because now we're going to have two shows. It's going to be one, Wednesdays, which is, by the way, the title of the show on Wednesdays is In the Now is what it's going to be called on the Radio Random Network. And I think we're going to do a launch for that in the near future. And Sounds Louisiana Friday. Don't forget about that. And that's going to be with me and Mudtooth. But we won't be focusing on actors anymore. My niche is music. I'm a musician. I've been a musician for 15 years. And I connect more. I connect better. And not that I'm not really a journalist. I kind of jumped into this head first. Find it more interesting when I talk to musicians. And I listen to the people. And that's a lot of the audience, a lot of my audience, the listeners. You guys, the ones that support and hit that download button and keep us going every week. That's y'all respond more with the musicians, with the music talk. So we're going to focus more on that for a while, especially in 2015. We got some interesting guests coming up. Mr. Craig Doswalk's going to be on the show. He was Axl Rose's, that's right, Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses. He was his personal manager. And he's also doing some great things. Also, Miss Patricia Gigant. That's right. She's going to be on the show. She's got some very cool connections, and she's into some cool things as well. Also, Miss Nick West. If you haven't checked out Nick West, go to nickwest.com because she is the baddest bass player around. The Queen of Strings, I want to say, is the name of the contest, and she's going to be joining it, and she's doing a lot of cool stuff out there. There's a lot of musicians headed this way. You're going to be surprised at some of the names that I'm going to be pulling out of the hat that's going to be joining me here every Wednesday on In the Now on the Radio Random Network because shit just got real, so to speak. So here we go, guys. One more thing. Friday, we wanted to go viral. We're wanting to go worldwide, which we are worldwide, but we want it to go further. So, thunderclap.it. Sounds of Louisiana is the name of the campaign. Now, you go to www.rrnonline.com, our official website, and you see the campaign for Thunderclap. You need to go on there and you need to support us. If I've never begged no one to support on the show. I've never asked for handouts, but damn it, I'm doing it now. Go there, click on it. It only takes a minute to go in and click support. And you can donate a tweet or a social status, such as Facebook or Tumblr. It's real easy and it's free. If you can handle that for us, we'd surely appreciate it. I think we got 20 people so far because I've been up for the past 72 hours promoting, talking to Wayne Toops, trying to get everything in order for Friday. And I need your support. Let's just put it that way. Just go to rrnonline.com, click the campaign for Thunderclap, go in there, support us. We've come a long way from the kitchen table, so to speak. And it's because of you guys. It's because of your support. And just like Semi, I have a success story to tell as well. And I don't mind telling you, and I'm sure down the road we'll talk about that with some of our great guests. But in the meantime, we got to pay some bills to keep the lights on and the internet working. By the way, Cox sucks. Cox Cable, Cox Communication, they suck. I say it every week and I'll say it again. They slow down my production, and hopefully sooner or later I'll be able to afford some AT&T up in here. You know what I mean? But in the meantime, let's pay some bills. Let's talk to Semi Anthony, and then let's get ready for Sounds of Louisiana Friday with me, Mudtooth, and the one and only Le Boss, Wayne Toops. Let's crank it up. Join us right here on the Radio Random Network every Friday starting December 12th for the show created for musicians and music lovers alike, Sounds of Louisiana, hosted by yours truly, #RDM, Russell Devin McLean, and the one and only Mudtooth. Our first guest back will be the one and only Grammy Award-winning Louisiana's own Wayne Toops. That's right, December 12th, 2014. For more information, visit www.rrnonline.com. I love only you. Take my hand. The Sounds of Louisiana is a proud member of the Radio Random Network and is brought to you by Racket Sound and Lighting and DJ Services, Adidas, and DraftKings.com.
Hot dang! Ever want to be on a wacky TV show? Well, here's your chance.
Oh, wait.
Hillbilly Horror Show is having a contest, and the winner gets a walk-on role in Hillbilly Horror Show Volume 5. Hang out on set with the cast, and yeah, fellas, that means hanging with the lovely Miss Lulu featured in Maxim.
You smell like the inside of my mama's purse.
Head on over to hillbillyhorrorshow.com to enter and join in the fun. And be sure to check out Hillbilly Horror Show Volumes 1 and 2, now out on DVD at major retailers and Amazon.
All right, joining me today on the Radio Random Network, he's an actor, director, producer, the one and only Mr. Semi Anthony. Semi, tell me how all this got started for you, man. How did you get started in the industry?
But how I got started, in 2010, after a few year of auditioning, I got this epiphany, man. I wanted to kind of redefine history. I wanted to go out, create my own projects. I didn't want to wait for Hollywood to come knocking on my door. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what I did, I put together a team of creatives, and went out, created this, amazing project, The Butchers, and that's how it came about,
Yes, indeed. Now, how did you get started with acting in general? I mean, was it something that you always wanted to do?
Yeah, man. I started acting when I was 15 back in my home country, Uganda, East Africa. It was a long road. I had to put a lot of things on hold. I had school. I had to go through, my personal development as a man. You know what I mean? When you're coming from a third world country where funds and resources are not available to you, you kind of like got to kick it on your own and, find ways to survive. So I put that on hold until 10 years later, I got this opportunity to come to America, and I landed in New York. Again, I didn't know, but it was the wrong city, for acting. I was there for a minute, went to Boston for a year and a half doing my research and everything on how to get started. Again, wrong city, So I'm like, now what do I do? I'm out here in America. I don't know nobody, no family, no friends, but I'm here to act, After everything I went through, man, I did not digress. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just, kept moving on, pushing forward, So I discovered this city called Hollywood. I still didn't have anybody here where I'm at today. I came out somewhere, came to America, I settled in, got a motel, stayed there for $50, like a week. It was a really, 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 really cheap motel. So I started going out in, acting classes. I got coaches and everything put on in my resumes, headshots, and all that good stuff. Started out in short student films, and that's how it all started, man.
Now, you've been featured in Modern Family, Triumph, Abbey Grace, which is in post-production. That's going to be a featured film, I guess, coming out soon. But tell us a little bit about your experiences working on the set of Modern Family with the likes of Ed Nilsson from Married with Children fame. Did you know who Ed was?
Yeah, this is kind of like the thing I do before I jump on a big show like that. I do my research. I get to know these people before I get to work with them. I did my research on Ty, Phil, who is played by Ty Burrell, Julie Bowen. So, I knew a little bit about them before I jumped on the show. But working on this show, man, it was like a dream come true, man. The cast, the crew, such very nice people, man. Ty and Julie both, they did create a congenial atmosphere for me, which made it even more enjoyable and inspiring.
Right. Now you're an executive producer on The Death Factory, which is a featured film, and also we talked earlier about The Butchers.
Yes.
Is the now that's pretty much like the horror genre. Is that the horror genre? Is that what you want to be known for? Is that what is that your favorite type of movie?
Now let me tell you again. We have a little bit of confusion about The Butchers and Death Factory. This is the same movie we're talking about. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I don't.
The Butchers and Death Factory is the same film. But what happened is when it got distribution, the distributor said, this movie, the title is not going to be marketable in the States. So we had a meeting, all the executive producers and the distributors. We're like, okay, so what title are you going to come up with for this factory in America? He said, let's title it The Butchers because it's more marketable. He really convinced us really good, and we thought about it, me and other executive producers, we all have the same voice, so we made an executive decision for him to change the title to The Butchers. But anywhere outside of America, it's still called The Factory. In London, it's called The Factory.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the same movie we're talking about.
So what were some of the challenges that you faced from coming from the Ugandan into, I guess, the Western states over here in America? How was the change of scenery for you? Was it a lot different?
Oh yeah, man, it's been real hard living out here. Coming from where I'm from. It's a country where there is a lot of hunger and dust. I can't not really forget. But again, coming to Hollywood, there's a lot of suspicious people. You know what I mean? You have to deal with all that fakeness in the people out here, and then you have to deal with the culture differences, and then you have to deal with the fact that Los Angeles is one of those states where unemployment is a complex problem. So I really had to hit the road real hard, go out, work hard, network, connection, get my shows moving. Go out here, if you don't, we all experience work begets work, So that's kind of like what I live by. You go create your own work, and then work is going to come to you. But it's been a long time. I've done first, number one, so everything that you got.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about some of your other interests. As you come to the States, has anything else caught your eye? Is there any time for romance? Any girlfriends or anything?
Oh man, no. I'll tell you, man. Oh yeah, I don't have a girlfriend, but again, we have problems. I try to focus on my career. That comes number one. Girlfriends and everything, that's secondary. But yes, I do have one. It's again complex relationship. It's complicated because There's a lot of things going on here, like we both know, I'm having my problem with a person with her because of the culture differences. She's an American. She was born in Montrose, California, but it's a struggle too. I got to deal with it. There's a lot of culture differences in between that is crushing,
Right. Now, Abbey Grace is a movie. It's contacting with Mr. Steven.
Man, Tim Judd is one of the most talented directors I ever met, man. He's got a very good vision. He's a good artist. He brings a lot of professional set. I think he's gonna do well in the future. Me, the way I see him, I think he's a younger version of him. The way he directs and everything. And when I'm watching Michael Bay's project, I see Steven Judd doing the same thing in the next 5-10 years.
Now you play in Abbey Grace. You play a character by the name of Roman. Can you tell us how hard was it to transition into that role? That role was a bit challenging for me because first of all, I didn't know anything about spirituality, So I had to work closely with my coach and mentor named Amy London. She is out here in Studio City, California. I had to work with her for like a whole week to prepare me for this role. I dig deep, go way back, watch movies like The Exorcist, with like House Left, movies like The Evil Dead, to kind of like feeling how, these demons and spirits work, how they operate, how to get rid of them if you come in. I play a spiritualist, who comes in to cleanse the house of all the negative energy from the house. But, initially I didn't know what I was doing. So I trained with my coach for a week. I got ready for it. Got to know how to handle it, and it prepped me real good. And I really did find it easy once I get into the character, because the only thing I needed to do is to stay away from picking up the energy from like the inside the room when I'm prepping for my role. So that made it more easier for me to focus on it. Now, what are some of the other featured films? Is there anything other than Abbey Grace that are in the works that you can talk about?
Oh yeah, I have a show called Triumph. It's gonna be on ABC network affiliates. It's a nighttime soap opera about 4 college friends who all have a similar dream. It's about what people do and the risks they take in order to achieve what they deem as success. And we like 3 episodes into it, so it's gonna be releasing anytime soon from today. And I have a couple other TV shows in between that I'm up for, just still looking bright, man.
That's great. So, what are some of the, have you made any celebrities? I mean, what are you doing for fun?
Oh yeah, man. When I started out, I didn't mention that, but I did a little bit of background acting, when I was trying to get the knowledge in how to do things out here in Hollywood. I met a lot of people. I met Morgan Freeman. I met LL Cool J. This is when I was doing background work. But with Morgan Freeman, it was a show called Through the Wormhole, which we shot here in Blair. It was kind of like one of those reenactment shows where I played a younger friend of a friend of Morgan Freeman. And I obviously met Ty Burrell, Julie Bowen. They're all good people. I've met a lot of industry folks, people like Jeff Greenberg is a friend of mine now, casting director of Modern Family. I have Natasha Ward. She's casting director of the new Tupac biopic. I don't know if you've heard about that, but yes, I've tried to make a couple good connections in Hollywood.
Yes, indeed. I've heard about the Tupac biopic. Is that something? Are you involved in that as well?
No, I'm not gonna be involved. I'm just gonna sit back and watch, let them do their thing. Cause I don't think what they look. Cause I know whatever they're looking for, and I don't see anything that looks like me.
Right, right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let other actors do their thing. I'll just sit back and watch them.
Now, you were talking earlier about Morgan Freeman. Did he give you any advice on the industry or anything?
Not really. We were just talking, as people, asking me some questions. You're asking me, where I'm from, how is it to, be in Hollywood. It's really have to be out here. But as far as how to do the business in Hollywood, no. Because I have my, mentor, personal coach. If I have any questions about the business, I just run to her right away. She got me 24/7.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Now, you were talking about, some of the challenges and everything. I mean, you've overcame a lot of challenges, and I'm sure there's still a lot to lay ahead. How do you keep stay so positive?
Man, positivity is a message I want to send out today, man. You have to be able to smile to everything, because the minute you stay away from all the negativity around you and people that can bring the negativity in your life, then everything is going to run smooth. You're going to be happy and free. So I chose to surround myself with positive people, high quality people who believe in what I do. People who share the same dreams, with me. People who go out there and do the things they love to do, things people are passionate about. This is acting. If you want to be a great actor, you want to be hanging around with great actors. So this is one of the things that have kept me alive in this business. I try to be happy and free, smile to all the things. Go out, train. I try to put in 4 days of training a week, and that keeps you in shape, both mentally and physically. You don't need the stress in your life. It kills you before you know it.
Yes, indeed. Now, are there any inspiring advice you can give to someone who wants to follow in your footsteps? Is there anything that you'd like to tell them?
Yes, I would say they have to believe in themselves. They have to know that no matter what people say or talk about them, they can always achieve anything they put their mind to. They should take me as a living example. I came from a third world country. I came out here not knowing anyone. I flew in New York with $50 from my country, and this is one of the most expensive cities in the world. I came in with $50. Today, I have, 2 feature films under my belt. I have a major show that I am working on. I have, all these other things that I've done. And if I can do it, you know what I mean, I think anybody else can. You don't have to let nobody tell you cannot do anything. That is a can do. You have to stay positive. And anything, like I said before, your thoughts create your reality. If you're going to keep thinking negatively, trust me, everything you're going to attract is going to be negative. If you think positive and, think of all the good things you can achieve, set up little goals, hit them, move on to another one, everything will just work out just fine.
You said something pretty interesting. It's something that I didn't realize a while ago. I mean, you said you had flew into New York, and it was at the right city. Now, you just said you flew into New York with only $50 from your country.
Correct.
Now, was there somebody there waiting on you?
I tell you, man, again, I don't know, you might want to write a book about my whole story, man. If we go into that, it's a whole nother story. Yes, I did come in with $50. I had no friends, had no family, had nobody, went there. There was a cheap motel out there in Lower Manhattan. I met a couple, I think there was 2 girls there that I talked to. I told them what the truth was, and they kind of let me stay with them for a week or 2. So within that period of time, I reached out to my friend who is in Europe, and he sent $300 to one of these girls, and I used that money to go to Boston, where I stayed for a year and a half trying to get in, kind of like look around, do my research, see where my life is going to lead me to. But everything was really a mess because I didn't know nobody in Boston either. So I spent this money. I did buy, I don't know, I think you're going to find this. I don't know what the right word to use, but I used this money to buy me my first car, which was, I think it was a Toyota. And I used to sleep in that car in the winter. When it's so cold, I hadn't seen winter because we don't have seasons out there. You know what I mean? I saw winter in Boston, and I'm sleeping in the car. You wake up early in the morning, and your car is buried in snow. You get out. You don't have anything, no shovels, no nothing to dig your car out. So I'm like standing on the streets looking to see what other people are doing. I'm like, okay, they're digging it out. I guess I gotta go dig it out too.
Right.
It was like a whole different story. Where I'm from, California, there's no snow,
Right.
And here I am in Boston, nobody, I don't know anyone in a car, I gotta dig this snow out. I got no gloves, no beanies, no hoodies, nothing. So I'm like, okay, I guess this is what it is. But again, I thought about, going back home and kind of like start afresh. But because of my, the way I was built, I don't know how to back down. If I put my mind to anything, I want to finish it before I give up. So digression is not in my vocabulary. I don't do that. I just want to keep pushing forward. And if I did give up that time back in 2006, I wouldn't be here today talking to you, man.
Yes, indeed. So you've done it all. I mean, you've paid your dues to get where you are. That's very, very inspirational. And I know you have a hectic afternoon, and we was running a little bit behind today, but we had you on, and I would love to get you back on and talk more about you. I'll contact Mr. Clint Morris and reschedule you to come back on, and we'll start straight from the beginning to tell your story, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that want to hear it.
Man, I'll tell you, man. My story is a whole movie by itself, man. It's a whole different story. Lots of people don't know what it is that some of us go through to get to where we at today. It's kind of like what Tupac said in one of his songs, they all see the trouble, but they don't see the struggle. Right.
I
don't know if that makes sense to you, So a lot of people don't see the struggle, They want to see this semi guy who came out of nowhere and is in California now. He's on the top, he's on a big show, award-winning show. If he did it, then, I guess anybody else could. Recently I was watching a live show in Studio City. It's like a comedy show, And I'm like friends with the owner of the theater. And this guy went on and he's like, you know what, man? I think this guy Semi is doing a lot of things we guys don't know about. But he came out here. He's doing all these things. He's on a major show, and we out here saying we can do something. I'm sure we can. We just go out and do the work. If you don't do the work, you're not going to get any results. So you guys out here keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to see different results. That's not going to happen.
Yes, you're right. You're definitely right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, that's how it is.
I appreciate your time, man. I'm going to let you get back to your busy week. Are you busy evening?
Yes,
and
sir.
I am going to get with Clint, and I'm going to have you back on in a couple of weeks. I'm going to make a note of it, and we'll get somebody. So be looking out for that email if you can. And we'll talk to you soon, Simi. Thank you very much for your time, and we will share and like and promote all of the things from the Butcher or Death Factory or whatever, and Triumph. That's right. And we'll be looking for you on the big screen, man. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Russell, for having me,
Anytime.
man. All right.
You too, brother.
Have a good one. All right. Thank you.
Whoops.